at this point, we should have our book. Let's open up our book. So Appendix A, if I recall. You're not giving us our... Huh. Let's just open this up in. Okay, I guess. For some reason it's not giving us our table of contents though. We'll scroll down. Scrolling. We're gonna make sure we have everything, so we're gonna look at Appendix A, right? Happens to be at the end. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. Appendix A, right there, we can just click on it. There we go. About hands-on exercises and lab setups. Let's scroll down. So we're going to be setting up Windows Server 2012 R2. One with this IP address right here. We'll be doing another server, R2. It's going to be Server 2012-2, DHCP client. Then we have Red Hat Enterprise 7.1. We got all this material, and this is going to be his IP address. We're just double checking. We got everything that we need. All right. Information about Linux. You're reading stuff that's on you. We're just going to try and hit up these labs. Hardware requirements, 64-bit, at least 8 gigs of RAM. So if you have that on your home computer, you might be good enough to do this. And approximately 80 gig of disk space. So I already gave you this. We're not using Win 10 because, we're all the way up to 15 now, almost 16. We installed the workstation, so we've already completed this part. Acquire Windows and Linux install image media. We should have those on our desktop in the ISO folder, correct? I think we are good. I did all this work for you. This is the important part. The labs are designed to be performed sequential from Chapter 1 through Chapter 8. Failure to do them in order will cause confusion. Alright? So we're just going to get the lab part built, so that starts into hardware. So I'm going to cheat back. We're going to go to the very beginning since this isn't giving me the index. Unless you guys know a quicker way to get to the index. Hey, I'm typing you. I'm typing. There we go. Alright. Going back. So at the end of Chapter 2 is where they actually start building the hardware for this. Chapter 2 is the hardware. Let's get down here. This is where we're going to start today. We're going to get the machines built. So server hardware, server operating systems. We're going to go down a little bit. So, tonight, try to read Chapter 1, Chapter 2 if you can. So Chapter 2, the way this is broken up, at the very end of each chapter, has the hands-on exercises. That's what these labs are for, is for the hands-on. I'm going to click on Calculate Rack Space, because I just know the other one's right below it. So we're going to start on Exercise 2.2. Create a Windows Server, 2012 R2. Virtual machine configuration. Make sure the lab setup instructions in Appendix A have been completed before attempting this exercise. This exercise does not actually install the Windows Server operating system. It just gets the virtual hardware configured for use in a later exercise. So this is just setting up the virtual machine hardware. It's like you're putting together the bare bones computer right now. Or bare metal, whatever they want to refer to this as. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So our first thing, start VMware Workstation 10.x or whatever version it is. We're all the way up to 15. Choose file a new virtual machine. So I'm gonna try to work with the same small space you guys got, and I'm gonna try to snap this over to the left. Come on, you can do it. Huh? Can you snap better than that? This does not like me. There we go. All right. And I'm going to open up the VMware. So I can slide this over. Zoom out just a hair. This is how I like to work. Come over here. Type in my VM, and we're going to follow this step by step. So if you're doing the same thing I'm doing, you shouldn't be like, oh, I lost you. You're going too fast, because the steps are right there. Right there. Step 1. Alright, so first one, we're going to create a new machine. So let me get that. Alright, this is gonna be awkward. Can I zoom out on this? Alright, well, we can see it. So it says create a new virtual machine. So step 1, we're going to click that. So we're just going to accept the defaults of typical and click next. So what I tend to like to do when there's a lot of steps is I'll just go through and I'll just highlight what I've already done. So choose I will install the operating system later and then click next. So that's the bottom option right here. And again, I'm just going to highlight this really quick, so I don't start losing track, because I'm dyslexic and I'll start reading the same line over. This kind of helps me. All right. From the guest operating system list, ensure that Microsoft Windows is selected. And then from the version drop-down list, ensure that Windows Server 2012 is selected and click next. It just happens to already be predicting what we're going to do here, right? If yours isn't there, just make sure it says Windows Server 2012. And then hit next. And highlight that, so I know where we are. All right, name the virtual machine Server 2012-1. So we are going to do that. I'm trying to do everything with just a mouse. Cheating. All right, and it doesn't say anything else. It just says specify a location that has sufficient free hard disk space. We only have one, so I'm just going to leave this in defaults, okay? We'll hit next. It just says, I didn't read this part. Note that this name applies only to VMware. The name configuration within the operating system can be something completely different, just like in Hyper-V. The name we're making here does not mean that that's the name of the computer inside. So in further exercises, we will be naming it inside something else. So I'm just gonna highlight that. We're done with step 5. So on the specify disk capacity wizard, accept the defaults. Can do. We're just gonna leave that and leave that. And then here it just says hit finish. So if you look in here, here's what it says that this needs minimum. So VMware wants to give this 60 gig split hard disk. So it's splitting it up into multiple files. Memory, 2 gigs of, and then it's putting it on a NAT. Other devices, CD, DVD, USB controller, printer, and sound card. So it's giving it the whole shebang. I'm gonna hit finish. And I'm gonna come over here. We're going to go highlight that really quick. So now it says we want our server to have 4 RAID controllers in total so that we can configure software RAID later. In VMware Workstation, click Edit Virtual Machine Settings on the left side of the screen. Notify the existing, am I reading that right? Yeah, notify the existing single virtual machine SCSI hard drive of 60. Am I reading that right? I think it's the wrong word. All right. So we're in right here. We're gonna go right here where it says edit virtual machine. You guys all with me? Click that. Gonna bring up the menu to edit. So it wants us to see hard disk. We have a 60 gig hard disk right here. So that's what it's talking about. We want our server to have 4 hard disks in total so that we can configure software RAID later. In VMware Workstation, click Edit Virtual Machine Settings. That's where we are on the left side of the screen. I think this is supposed to say Notice, not Notify. It should say Notice the existing single virtual hard. So it should be hard disk, SCSI hard disk of 60 gig. That's what we got. Already trying to correct the book here. All right, so I'm just going to highlight that. I've read that twice. I think we're good. We understand that there's some typos in there. I don't know where you are, Lee. One sec. Get everyone in here, and then I'll go look. Click the Add button and select Hard Disks and click Next. We're going to click Add right there. Hard Disk. Click Next. So select SCSI, click Next, and then create a new virtual hard disk, and then click Next. So SCSI. Next. Create a new virtual hard disk. Next. Maximum disk size. Notice the default is 60. Click Next. On specified disk file page, so it doesn't say anything about split. It doesn't say, so we're going to leave it like we did before. Leave that on split, and we will hit Next. Did I scroll? So scrolling will make that move, so be careful. And here's where it's naming it. They don't say anything about picking a name. I'm going to highlight all this. And I'm going to hit Finish. So now we have another disk. So it says repeat step 8 through 11 2 more times. So I'm going to pause this really quick so I can look. So we're going to repeat steps 8 through 11 2 more times. So just add hard drive, next, finish. One more. This is a lot easier than Hyper-V, isn't it? There we go. At that point, I am now done with that step. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to come over here. Make sure I'm highlighted. Helps me just keep my spot. So another trick that I do, like if I keep losing my spot in this book when I'm scrolling and there's lots of steps, is just take a sticky note and stick it right on your screen. So as you're scrolling, just stop right underneath where you've left. So that also tends to help me a bit. If I start losing my spot, when we do the Windows 10 stuff, you'll see what I mean about losing your spot. All right, so that was all of 2.2-2. So we've just set up our hardware for our Windows 10 machine. Next, we're going to do 2-3. Let me pause this really quick. Okay, well, I'm going to start the 2-3, and then anyone who fell behind, we will get you caught up. So 2-3, create a Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 virtual machine configuration. Make sure the lab setup installation and Appendix A have been completed, which was just downloading it. So we downloaded it. We're good there. Start VMware Workstation 10X. Choose File, New Machine. So just like we did before. So I'm going to close the Server 1 because that has nothing to do with this part. So we have our Create New Virtual Machine right here. And it's going to be the same. Accept the default of typical and click Next. Move this more over here so I can see it better. Choose I will install the operating system later. It decided, hey, I think you're already going to do that. And then this time, stuff was all the same, right? Well, we haven't done 4, but highlight that. Make sure we've already done that. Let's not repeat. From the guest operating system, we're going to pick Linux 6, 64-bit. Except it's actually Linux 7, isn't it? So, anyone see a typo right here? Let's see. So first off, I gotta make sure I'm on Linux. Let's come over here. So there's ASUS Linux, which isn't the one. We're looking for Red Hat. There's lots of Linuxes in here. So there's a Red Hat Linux 6 64-bit, and there's a Red Hat Linux 7 64-bit. Since we're Red Hat Linux 7.1, that's, I am guessing, is a typo, which we've already found a few already, right? So we're going to do Red Hat 7 64-bit, because that's the one we're actually using. So we're trying to throw some common sense in here, right? I'm going to hit next. It wants us to name this Arhel. Arhel 7. That's kind of funny because 7 levels of hell, right? So Red Hat Linux 7.1. That's what we're naming it. Let me make sure I didn't put a space in front of that, which I did. So let me highlight here. Name the virtual machine. All right. Again, the inside, the machine inside is not what we named it outside. Same warning that we had before on the Windows one. So we're gonna hit next. You're gonna notice something majorly different from Windows. Anybody want to point it out before I point it out? So on the specified disk wizard capacity, accept the defaults and click next. On the final wizard, click finish. So I'm going to highlight this just really quick. So what do you guys notice different? Windows wanted 60 gig, right? But now it's Linux only is going to need 20 to work. So we're going to keep this as defaults, right? It says accept the defaults and click next. We want our server to have RAID, so we're going to add more to it. So we're going to hit. So just for future, when you're messing with this, so he's telling us we want our server to have 3 hard disks in total, so that we can configure software RAID later. In VMware Workstation, click Edit Virtual Machine Settings on the left side of the screen. So instead of me hitting Finish right here, I could just hit Customize Hardware. All right. So we're kind of saving a click step. And in here, we can just go add. And I'm blind. Well, let me just hit close on that really quick, and I'm gonna hit finish. So we do this the normal way. I got a light right in front of me. Move it. All right, we'll go back in there. So again, you should notice that we have this 20 gig hard drive. We're gonna do add. We're gonna pick the hard drive. SCSI. There. Create new hard disk. It's automatically picking 20, so this is just all the defaults in here. And then it's not giving us anything to name, so we're just going to let it stay there. We're going to hit finish. And I just did something wrong. So, who wants to catch what I just did wrong? Anybody? Galvin's typing. Alright, so what I did wrong is I was assuming, right? So the next one is to click add, select hard disk, click next. Select SCSI, click next. That's what I just did. But then right here, change the size to 10 gig. I left it at 20. So it says that I must save it and then reopen it if I want to change it. So let me just see if I hit OK. Go back to edit. Go to hard disk 2. Move this over here. Now I can make it smaller. I can compact it. But it's not going to let me make it smaller. There's no options in here. I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to hit remove. And I'm going to come back to add. I'm going to do it right. Hard drive. Next. SCSI. Next. Create virtual. Yes. Here, I'm supposed to make that 10. Then next. Then finish. Now it's proper. So we're only supposed to have 3 drives on this one. So it says in the instructions, repeat one more time, 8 through 11. So I will add hard drive. Click my way to it right here. Take this down to 10. Next, finish. Easily fixed, right? Unlike Hyper-V, you delete stuff here, it's deleted permanently. Let me come back to my instructions. So we clicked add, we did that, we repeated our steps. I'm just gonna highlight these pink. That one's double highlighted just so we know, hey, come back, I made a mistake there. And we should look just like that. 20, 10, 10. So exactly, right? Good to go. I will hit OK. And I'm going to come over here and hit pause. So at the end of this part right here, come on. There we go. So in this chapter, you learn that servers consist of various hardware components. You haven't read it yet, but that must be carefully selected to meet functionality needs. This is true. Got a mosquito. For both physical and virtual server computed environments. So in here it has form factors. So you go through there and you learn about what 1U is. 1 3/4 inch in height. So about, you know, the form factor of actual servers, which was not talked about in a plus. Different server component, so it's a good thing to go in there and make sure you go through chapter 1 when you get a chance. We're just going to focus on the labs in class. And then it reinforces some of your A plus stuff, because I know you guys haven't done A plus yet, so that's kind of a good thing. It'd be nice if we went from A plus, Network plus, to Server plus. Because then it's just reinforcing a lot of stuff you already did. So, I'm going to go back to page 1, just because it's easier. I'm going to put Chrome on here shortly, because at least Chrome is going to give me my table of contents at the top. So now we're going to go to chapter 3, where we actually install and deploy in these machines. Scrolling down, chapter 2, chapter 3. So chapter 3 is on server roles, virtualization, hypervisor types, virtual machine guests, server installations, different types, server administration methods, KVM, out-of-band remote administration, in-band. So good stuff to read. So we're going straight to hands-on, because again, we're just trying to reinforce what we did in 4.10. I'm going to click right here, and you guys should be very familiar with this part, but you have not done it in VMware yet. So I'm going to close that for a second. I'm going to go back to the screen most of you guys are on right now. Again, I'm doing this in a really small split screen, but it works. And you can zoom in and out in here. Make it bigger or smaller. So our first step, start in VMware Workstation and ensure that server 2012-1, that's right there. Virtual machine you created in chapter 2 is open. So we're on that one. In the navigation pane on the left side, click Edit Virtual Machine. So again, this is going in order. If I click on here to go to chapter 2, so I'll just make a habit, highlight that, so you know you've already done it. So we're gonna go to Edit Virtual Machine Settings. We're gonna start living in here, right? Another thing you can do is just hold this underneath what you're reading. So in the navigation pane on the left side, we're going to go to the virtual machine settings. On the left side of the screen, notice the network adapter is configured for NAT. This allows the virtual machine to communicate on your network and potentially the internet if you have an internet connection, while using its own unique IP address scheme. This is something that Hyper-V cannot do. Hyper-V will either use your existing network card, clone it, and get a DHCP from your network, or it's going to be on a network with only your computer, where your computer's network can talk to it, or private. So this is another thing that makes VMware a little bit more powerful. So let me come up here. So if I click on NAT, it says connected power, NAT used to share the host's IP address. So I'm going to move this over. It's just explaining what that does. We'll go more depth later when he shows us. Set that to pink. Now we're going to go to the CD DVD. So remember how we inserted an ISO into Hyper-V so that we can install off of it? That's what we're going to do now. So the CD DVD right here, auto detect. Click on here. We're going to click on Use ISO Image File. Move this over. And click Browse. And remember, it's on our desktop. By default, this is looking in where our virtual machines are. That's not where we're going to put this. So we're going to go to our desktop, ISO folder. This is the 2012 R2 Windows Server that we're doing right now. We're going to hit Open. Let's go over here. And it just says click OK. So we're going to click OK, make no other changes in this. So I'm going to grab that, highlight it really quick. So in the navigation pane on the left-hand side, we're going to click Power on the virtual machine. The virtual machine begins booting from the Windows Install Media. So if we look right here, we have the play button. Right here we have the play button, just like we've been using before. So we're going to power this puppy on. I think this will automatically just start booting it. I'll move this over here so I can see what's going on here. So we don't have to play the whole hit any button key game. So while that's doing that, get right ahead. Highlight this, just trying to make it a habit. In the Windows Setup dialog box, accept the defaults and click Next. Click Install Now. From the list of operating systems to install, choose the second option, Windows Server 2012 R2 Standard Evaluation. Server with GUI, so we're using Standard this time. Accept the license term and click Next. On the Install Type screen, in which the type of installation do you want dialog, choose Custom Install, because we can't do Upgrade. Click Next. You will see 4 virtual hard disks you created in an earlier lab. Ensure that disk 0 unallocated space is selected. Remember, disk 0 is 1. So it's going to look just like that. So I'm going to highlight all the way up to here, and I'm going to stop when I get to that, and then we're going to read a little bit more. So I will bring this over here in front of this just so you guys can see. But we're fairly familiar with this. We're just going to next. Install. Mine's acting really not happy right now. Inside of it, it's not happy. See? And over here, it's nice and smooth. So, the instructions are different than our last labs. Let's drag this over. Second option, Standard Eval with GUI. So that's the one we're going to be doing. Standard Evaluation with GUI. We'll hit Next. We're going to accept the terms. Hit Next. Upgrade is useless. It can't be done. This should not even be a step right here. And then disk 0, drive 0, unallocated space. That's the one we want to use. From here, we are going to hit Next, and it should be easy peasy after that. So I'm going to move this to the side. Click back on here. We just matched that. We did all that. Windows begins the copy. And of course, he's got good advice. This is a good time to get a cup of coffee. But be quick, 2 to 3 minutes. We're almost at 8 o'clock right now. Once we get these installed, we'll take our other break. Now I'm going to give you guys an option. You guys want to use his password, or do you want to keep using server 123? Okay. Hit Control Alt. That'll get you out of it. It should say at the bottom of the window too. Bottom left-hand corner. I'll go pause all your machines. No. No joke, in class, I started before everyone one time, and everyone finished before me. I felt very let down by the system. I'm doing another test print right now, like the ones I was showing you at the beginning of class. I'm trying to fine-tune the settings to get as high detail as possible. But I'm using like a water soluble resin. So I'm not sure if the problems I've been having is because of the resin or because of my settings. But I can print as thin as an eggshell. That's crazy. Someone said use the old password. All right, yeah, Lee says ours. Girl says his. What about the rest of you? What password do you guys want to use? Server 123 or capital P A $$$W 0RD? Meanwhile, we're at 73%, 74, 75. It's speeding up. Definitely printing. I keep hearing thud, thud. Purple Unicorn 20. Is that your safe word? Like pineapple. Oh, mine's done. All right, for the book's sake, I'll do password on mine. This is gonna drive me nuts. I have too many passwords in my head. First time boot. So remember I showed you guys the shortcut about how to make a base image? And then we used that to deploy everything, and when we broke something, it was easier to recover because we already had everything pre-installed. Even easier in VMware. On your desktop in the ISO folder. Woohoo! Alright, did we decide on password? Or did we decide on server 123 still? Guess I'm gonna use password. easy to type anyways. I would use an @ symbol if it was me. Password. Are we correct? Password. Password. Alright, I've lost it. Don't mind me. From here, we hit finish. You fill that in. Alright, this can go away. You go away. So then the next step was hit Control-Alt-Delete, and we're going to type in password. Poof! I typed it right! Yes! Success is mine! Alright. Did that. We did that. Control-Alt-Delete. Then press enter. The server tool desktop is displayed. Hit yes. That part right there. We're done with all the way to 13. Pink. Pink. Configure server manager not to start automatically in server manager. Choose manager, server manager properties, and check the box that says do not. So what he's trying to say is he doesn't like this popping up on him. He's just not into that kind of thing. Well, let's full screen that. All right. He wants you to come up here. Yes, yes. Server manager properties. He wants you to say, don't bother me. Right there. Okay. Then you can close it, and then it doesn't pop up no more on you. Right. Gonna come over here. Right click. That's done. Alright. Add a second network adapter for the server. From the VMware VM menu, choose Settings. From the VMware VM menu, right there, go to Settings, right there. There we go. Click Add at the bottom of the screen and choose Network Adapter, and then click Next. Add Network Adapter. Next. Alright. Choose Custom. Specify Virtual Network and choose VMnet 5 from the drop-down list. Is there a VMnet 5? Let's see. There is VMnet 5 from the drop-down list. Click. Alright. Your virtual machine screen may blank for a few seconds. Blink, blank, blink, whatever. As the change is put into effect. So unlike Hyper-V, we can make changes when the damn thing's running. Okay. And now it's gonna pause it, make the change, and turn it back on.
Like a bird on a tree.
Awesome. 15 through 17. Done. Highlight. Pink. And that's what you did. Add a second network adapter. Alright, cool. Now we're going to scroll down. Configure a static IPv4 address for the server. We're going to click the start menu and type network. And we're going to go through the fun way. Oh, I should open this up on my other computer. So they want us to go this way. Click on that. Network. And at some point, someday, some time zone, it should show up. It's thinking about it. It's right there. There we go. So it said Network and Sharing Center. Is that the one it wanted to? Is that what it said? Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Then we know we just go to change adapter settings. So it wants us to go to Ethernet 0, rename it external NAT,
in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me,
rename it.
meant to be
Does this work? Nope, that don't work, but guess what does work?
in the great
This works. Yeah.
forever.
That one's now named external NAT. So you know it's an external network. Right click on Ethernet 1 adapter and choose rename and type internal. Remember, external medicine should not be taken internal. Good advice. True story. We'll rename that one. And I'm doing this with one hand. Oh yeah, story of my life. There we go. You guys like how the instructions are in this book? Scrolling down. It's even got a picture to show what we just did. Ain't that cute? All right. Right-click the internal adapter and choose Properties. Select IPv4 and then click the Properties button. Choose under the following IP address and enter the following values. 192.68.1.200. We're going to have a beautiful subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, giving us the last bit in a Class C subnet. Beautiful. Then we're going to click OK and then close. Click the Start menu and type CMD, and at the command prompt, press Enter. Enlarge the command prompt screen and then type ipconfig. Notice that the IP address information listed for the internal and external network adapter. So, right. So we're going to change on internal. We're going to give this IP address. Internal. So I'm just going to copy that. I hate typing. Going to come up here and I'm going to right click and go to properties. He didn't say anything about IPv6, did he? So, I'll leave it. I'm gonna follow his instructions. Use the following. Alright, does paste work for this? I don't know. I really don't know. Hey, look at that. That'll autofill. That's it. That's all he gave us, right? Nothing extra, just that. Go back, double check, 255.255, click OK, close. Command, alright, cool. I'm gonna hit okie dokie. And then I guess I hit OK all the way out of here. He's keeping DHCP on there so that this has internet. Hence, it's going to be activated on our desktop. So if we were using our troubleshooting methods, right? So going through our personal checklist, when we do a clean install, let me go full screen here. It says expired, but if I right click and go refresh, it's actually activated. So I just checked to make sure this was activated because we know it's a good thing to do with our evals. So then he wants us to go to the command prompt. So I think he said to do this and type CMD. And there's the command prompt right there. Hit enter. Takes us there. For some reason he said zoom in. I don't know why he said zoom in. There is no zoom options. You can't zoom in. Now, on Windows 10 you can zoom in, but here you can't zoom in. All right. Then he wanted us to do IP config. And then slap that enter button. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look at that. So I think he probably said enlarge, so I might be taking that wrong. He probably meant to do this. Pretty sure that's what he meant. But there we go. Even though we renamed the damn thing, still says Ethernet 0. How dare you? How dare you? Guess what though? Who wants to? Who sees something here? So I'm doing this so you catch it later. Nobody? Nobody sees what I did yet? I did this on purpose. No? Alright, what's the color of the window? Yeah. That's not my virtual machine. Even though this was on full screen. There we go. Now let me go in the virtual machine and do it. When I hit the Windows button, I must have been outside, and it did CMD on the outside of this. Because this is much slower. There we go. There we go. All right, now this should be proper. Baby blue's good for you, right? Still applies. Come over here and just do IP config enter. There we go. That's what they wanted us to see. So internal is 192.168.1.200, followed by a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And then we have Ethernet adapter external NAT, which has an IPv6 of local FE80. We don't have IPv6 on the network. It's getting an automatic. Hold it. What did I do wrong here? No, that's correct. External one's getting a DHCP address of 192.168.149.28 because VMware has its own DHCP server, so it's given it its own private network to keep it off of my network so that you guys aren't interfering with each other. So, let's see what else I can bumblefuff. Let me minimize that, and let's knock off what we've been doing here. We're back to red. We're on our host. So did that. All right, enlarge so that we can see everything. And that's good. So we're gonna come up here. Make sure we highlight our Happy Joy-Joys, pink. And now we're gonna name the server. So click the start menu, right click the PC tile and choose properties. Make sure I do that in here. Just make sure this thing snaps. Come on, snap. There's one thing we probably really need to do to this, and that's install the tools. All right, I'll just bring you over here. Ooh, you stupid thing. All right. So it wants us to click the start menu, right? And this PC, this is old school. They want you to right click right here. And they say go to properties, right? And that takes us to the system, the real system, nothing but the system. So coming back over here, we have done all that, and we want to name this server 2012-1. All right. So I'll just do that because I don't want to use the keyboard because it makes clicky noises. We're going to come over here to change. Remember, don't do it. Don't be that guy. That's not the computer name. This is not the computer name. Don't go right here. Read before you bleed. All right. Go to change. Oh, come up here, and I'm just gonna paste it because I don't like typing. Oh, I gotta type. I still gotta type. It missed something. Make sure that's right. Server 2012-1. All right. I will hit OK. I'm gonna hit OK here, but Let's do something so that this thing actually resizes right, because he did forget a step here. So I'm gonna hit close. I'm gonna hit restart later. We're gonna restart it in a second, but let me get this up here. See this at the bottom? Let's install the tools. Install the VMware tools. Install. Come back in here. Let me close this. There we go. Just put a disk in. We're going to run this setup file right here. So either he didn't say it or I missed it, but let's do this so that the screen actually resizes to what we want. And this should automatically restart anyways doing this, so we should be good to go. What's this say? All right. There we go. So we'll just get our next. I just always hit complete just in case it misses something. I just complete, install. This is giving us all the drivers so that it knows all of its virtual hardware and everything, and it'll run faster and smoother. And it'll actually let us resize this screen without it getting locked in there like it is. There we go. Now we can restart. Say yes. 2 birds, 1 stone there. All right, so let's go. We named this server. We restarted it. So it's on that process on 29 right now. Highlight. Pinky in the brain. So after that, it says create a snapshot of the installation after the computer has restarted, in case you need to revert to this configuration in the future. Sounds familiar. From VMware VM menu, choose snapshot and take snapshot. Hell no. We're going to add a step -30.1. All right? Or 29.1. What do we know about doing checkpoints and snapshots? How should we do it? Don't make me turn this bus around. Your silence fills me greatly. I think Alvin's typing a book. Let's see if he's got it. Nobody? Nobody? Fine. Sorry, let down, guys. Feel let down. Just did it too. Just did it. Password to get in here. No, that's what we're doing, but what should we do before we make this the snapshot? And the whole thing is creating it, and that's word for word what it says right here. Create a snapshot of the installation after the computer has restarted in case you need to revert this configuration in the future. Yes, Scott. Bonus points. Shut it down. Because when it's running, we're taking a snapshot of everything in the memory, everything else that's running on it, the processor state, everything. So it makes a massive size snapshot when all we got to do is yabba dabba do this and shut it down. In the shutdown state, this is the best state. Takes up less space when we make a snapshot for it. So now if I come over, it wants a snapshot and name it fresh install. Because it's fresh. So something funny, the Nighthawk router I have, its password is fresh panda. So someone tell, do they eat panda in China? I'm just confused on that password. So now that it's in a shut down state, we come up to here. We can go snapshot, and we can say take a snap-a-shot. Fresh installation. Delete and take snapshot. That took up a lot less space on our host computer because we did do it in a off state. And remember, we only have a certain amount of storage on here. So now we're done with this. So step 32 should have been step 31. Shut down your server 2012-1 virtual machine from the VM menu. Choose power and then choose shutdown guest. Hell no, don't you ever do that. Don't do that. Not unless your machine's frozen. Don't do that. That's like going up to your computer and yanking the power cord out of it, okay? Don't do that. Do what we did. Shut it down properly. Gracefully. That's how our book mentioned it, right? Gracefully, properly. Don't do that. Let's not tempt the Microsoft gods, okay? We know they're angry. They always angry. So what we're gonna do, first let's copy this. So remember how we made the base image, and from that base image we created all of our machines off of it. We created one good known image, and we worked off of that, right? I'm gonna go to split this so I can see everything right here. What we're gonna do here is we're just gonna right click on this. All right, give me a sec. Now I'm gonna right click on it. And if we come down here to manage, we have a clone option right here. We're gonna click clone. We're gonna hit next. And we're gonna clone an existing. Let's see what he has right here. He doesn't even say, but yeah. We're cloning the fresh install. It's the only option we have here. So fresh install or the current state. Either way, it's the same thing. Create a full clone. So Yvonne's class, I created a link clone. So I have a master one that has, when I make changes, it applies it to all their computers. So in our case, we're doing a full clone. Let me double check. Yeah. Create a full clone. Click next. Name the clone Server 12.2. Close. You almost had that right, computer. Almost. 2. All right. And then we hit finish, and now it's cloning it. So we're all the way to here. We'll start the server 2012 machine. Ensure that the new virtual machine is selected. And from the VM menu, choose settings. Alright. Someone tell me where he's trying to trick you up right here. He's wording this so that you do something wrong here. Does anybody want to catch it? It's here. And it's here. Here he says start server 2012-1 virtual machine. He wants us to turn the one on that we just cloned, right? Now here he says ensure the new virtual machine is selected, and from the VM menu, choose settings and remove the network adapter configured with NAT. So he doesn't want you to do that to this one. He wants you to do that to, well, he doesn't want you to do that to this one. He wants you to do that to this one, okay? This is the new one. He just wants you to turn this one on so it's booted up when you're done doing this. Then log in the server 2012-2 and change the following. So, that's done cloning. I'm gonna hit close. So by his steps, see now we have 2 here. He wants you to go to 2012-1. Turn it on. He wants you to go to 2012-2. Go to settings. He wants you to go to the network adapter that says NAT. And he wants you to delete it. I'm going to say right now, don't do that. Who knows why? We need to make sure that machine activates, right? Let's do it his way and see if it stays activated from the clone, okay? Well, I'm guessing it might not be happy. So, I'll play it his way and we'll see if we get lucky. So I'm going to click on it. Network adapter, NAT. They want us to remove that one. Very, 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 very difficult. We're going to come down here and we're going to hit remove. Gone. No confirmations, nothing. Just gone. Hit OK. So, started one. We went to the new virtual machine. He's always got it kind of italicized there. And from the VM menu, choose settings. Now we just removed the one with NAT. Click OK. We're good. Now we got to log on to it. So in order to log on to it, we got to turn it on, right? We're going to come over here. We're going to go to 2. We're going to power this machine on. So now that he's shown you how to do it one time, he ain't holding your hand. There ain't no aprons here. So he says configure IPv4 to obtain the following address and DNS server address automatically. Type the computer name. We're going to name it that. When prompted, we start the computer. After the server has restarted, from your VM menu, choose Snapshot, take Snapshot. So this one's going to have DHCP on it. We are not setting a static on this, it looks like. So, again, right here, configure IPv4 to obtain IP address and DNS server automatically. So that is DHCP. Kind of browsed over that and didn't actually pay attention to what I was reading. That's acting like it's a clean install, like we system prepped it. So that's the cool thing about VMware when you clone stuff. It fixes everything for you. So let's go in here and do that. We're gonna log in. Then we're gonna rename it. Well, we're gonna put it on DHCP. So Control-Alt-Delete right here. Again, we already gave it a password. Same one we did earlier. We cloned it. Way he showed us how to get. So he's doing stuff different ways than 410 showed you. He's having us go through here. He's having us right click on this PC and go to properties. I'm gonna come up here. Right there. Change that to a 2. Hit OK. Close that. I'm going to say restart later. Then he said, get to the network before. We went right here. Clicky wakey computer. Clicky, you do. I have network. Change the adapter settings, and we're going in here on this internal one. Just right click, go to properties. We'll go to IPv4, and we're just going to obtain automatically, and obtain automatically, also known as DHCP. We're going to say OK, OK. Close this. Let's move this over. So it does say it's valid license, so we're good there. So it did keep the activation, so that's exciting to know. Now we're going to do the restart. This one, not this one, this one. Cool. Meanwhile, let's go back to our book and see if we can get these all done before the end of class. So once this is restarted, when prompted, it restarts. So it wants us to do a snapshot, type fresh installation server 2 for the name, and then click take snapshot. So again, I'm going to shut it down after it turns back on. We're just following the directions step by step, so this is what my plan is for each day until the end of class, is to get through this. At least get through all the labs in here. So she's back up right here. I'm going to log in properly. Now I'm going to shut it down gracefully or properly. That way it's in this clean state. We have to revert back to it and turn it on. So just like before, you can just right click right here, go to snapshot, take snapshot. We're going to name it fresh install. Am I missing something? No, server 2. All right, it did miss something. I don't think he typed it like that, but oh, he did. All right. I'm going to say take the snapshot. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're gonna just highlight all that pink. All right. Now I'm just gonna turn that back on because he's assuming that we just left that on. So make sure you're logged into server 2012-1. All right. Start PowerShell from the taskbar and type install Windows featured DNS include management tools. Note there should be no spaces between the symbol. That symbol. So you guys have a tool on your desktop. I'm gonna minimize this for a second. You got this Notepad++. So if you're gonna cut and paste stuff out of a book, which I recommend you not, for you guys to learn, actually type this stuff, okay? But if you are gonna cut and paste it into here so that it gets rid of formatting. Because it might grab some weird stuff and you don't know it's pasting it. It won't show you that it's pasting it. But I guarantee you, it'll be giving you problems because it's gonna think there's like bold, italicized information in there. And also see, even though I copied and pasted that, all Windows featured DNS includes management tools. Okay. And it's also telling you to make sure that, you know, there should be a space and there shouldn't be a space. So what he's talking about is right here. So the cool thing about Notepad++ is we can zoom in and we can look and we can make sure we're typing stuff right. A lot of these commands, you type them wrong one time, you're reverting that machine and starting all over. So I know that this is clean right here. See, there's a space in front. That would have caused a problem. I'm going to minimize that. Come back over here. So, location, SSSL. Spelling, syntax, spacing, location. We're supposed to be on 1, so don't accidentally go on 2. 1. I'm going to log in the 1. Now, I should be able to snap this to the right without it acting stupid on me. Maybe. Well, that's a pain in the butt. Fine. Just keep doing this overlap thing. So we made sure we're on 1 location right there. Now we're gonna go to PowerShell. So he left something out here. So start PowerShell from the taskbar and type install. We need to make sure it's an elevated PowerShell command prompt. Let's see if we just click it, if it's gonna go into it. So see if I just open it. Oh, it did flip it. So at first it was just saying PowerShell. Sometimes that won't open that up as administrator and it won't work. Question is, why are you showing that still? Go away. Does this have a zoom? It doesn't have a zoom. All right. So you need to type Windows feature space DNS space dash include management tools. So it will install Windows feature. It's going to install DNS. The dash include management tools is the tools, the GUI stuff that allows us to actually manage that and do it. Make sure you spell it right. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm just making sure there's no space in front of that. Going back. Hit enter. And it didn't like it. And that's because it got rid of something when it was copied. So I want you guys to spot what's wrong with that. Here. You guys see what's wrong with it? Come on. Oh my god, this is horrible. Mouse ain't even moving. Alright, well, we ain't doing that. La, 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 la. Wow. My stuff is acting all stuck on the left-hand side. How you like that? My mouse? I can't move it right. It keeps on jumping. Alright. So, when you have a problem... Wow. This is going to be one of those cases I'm going to do something I don't like to do. We're going to come up here and we're going to do the thing I said not to do. But I can't get to it. There's something glitching in mine. I'm going to say restart guest. It looks like it's doing it properly from the restart, so. For some reason, my mouse was locked to the edge of that screen for some reason, so something wasn't working properly. So I'm going to restart it, see if that fixes it. If that don't fix it, I'm just going to close it and reconnect to it. Alright, mouse, how are you? Okay. It looks like it's playing nice now. Alrighty. How about, do you snap now? It'd be awesome if you snapped properly. Nope, you're not playing friendly still. Alright. Back to where we started, so let me paste, because what was in my paste, there's something wrong with it. So someone tell me what's wrong in that, and I'm not gonna try to do the zoom because the zoom seems to break it. Well, look at what's in the book compared to what I have up there. Is right here. Type in this right here. Something wrong with what I have right here. There's 5 people in class. Someone can figure this out. Make it full screen. If I try to zoom in, it's gonna break something. Let me try.
Like a bird on a tree.
Alright, I'm trying to do it from the outside operating system, and it puts it right in the freaking way. Come on, you son of a... There we go. You! Get the hell out of the way. I think this should be snapped in the left-hand corner of the screen.
We can sit together. It's so beautiful. You and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors. Forever free.
You find it? Open it up in the PDF and look at what I have written there. I'm missing something. Yes. Well, even though I cut and paste everything, right? It didn't cut and paste that. Now we're talking. One little thing. So don't trust cut and pasting stuff, okay? So if you type a little bit and then hit tab, if you're typing the stuff right, it should auto fill it in. Now it's just warning us that we don't have Windows Update turned on. We don't want that on. So let's go into here. Let's see what's next. So we got that typed right. Huh. So let's make that some pink. So after the DNS server role is installed, type get Windows feature DNS to ensure that it shows up. So let me just type it. Tap it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. There we go. Wildcard it. DNS. Wildcard again. That's making sure that it is installed. So DNS server is installed and Server Tools is installed. That's what Happy X and Happy X means. So we're gonna say, all right, good to go. That worked. Now we're gonna configure the internal server network interface to use itself for DNS name resolution by typing. Ooh, yes, more typing. Let's see if we can mess this up. You type this once, don't do it again. This is why I need to be able to utilize my second monitor. Then I would just read it and type it, but it's too small of a screen. All right, so let's see what this does. I'm gonna confirm this time that everything's in there. So I should still have this open right here. All right. Do is pull this up. I want to make sure it's right before I copy it over because I don't want this to be wrong. So right here, so it should be set DNS client server. This is all one line, so interface alias internal server address 127.0.0.1. So that looks correct. Like everything else, there's a space in the front. I'm gonna Control A, Control C that. Looks like everything's in there. I don't see anything missing. This is just me verifying before I throw it in there. I'm gonna go in here. set DNS client server address, internal. It hit enter on its own. So I didn't check to see if there was an enter at the end of what I just copied. So you see that, it hit enter. Luckily, it took it, and I didn't have any red. I'm going to go back to my book. We just did this one. And again, that was for the internal network. The next one's going to be for the external server network interface to use itself for DNS resolution by typing same thing, set DNS client server address, interface alias external NAT. So that says internal, so then it needs external NAT server. So everything's the same except that. What we can do is come over here, up arrow that, change this to external NAT. We don't want to rewrite the book, right? Then we just go back and confirm that that is what I needed to do. So set DNS client address dash interface alias external NAT. That's the name. That's what we named it. Server address 127.0.0.1. So that should be good. So just see if you see stuff that there's barely anything changed. Use your up and down arrows to navigate it. It'll make it easier. Now if I hit enter, no confirmation with PowerShell. Red means you're bad. So now we got those both set. We're using our DNS, our local loopback 127 for internal and external. That's what they just had us set. We're going to come over here. We're going to highlight the happy sauce, pink. So now they want us to do an IP config all to verify that the DNS server being used by the interface is 127.0.0.1, as shown in the following illustration. So let's go up here. And let's just go clear screen. IP config /all. And this gives us everything. So right here we see DNS server is 127.0.0.1. And also right here on external NAT is our DNS server is 127.0.0.1. So with that being confirmed, we're going to come back over here because now it has something else for us to do. Verify DNS functionality by typing ns lookup followed by www.google.com. So let's do that. NS, no, extra O's. www.google.com. Enter. Server, localhost. Went to us first. And then timeout was 2 seconds. www.google.com. Address is 216.58.193.132. That's the actual real website address to Google. And that confirms that it is working. It redirected us, it looked it up, and it gave us an answer. Because remember, DNSs translate names to addresses. So let's go back here. 901. All right, we're almost done. So here, holy crap, that's loud. It looks like I lost a print. I'm going to be fishing that out of there. All right. So this other one right here, the netsh, means we're adding a firewall exception. So when we set up our Linux computer, that it can actually talk with this computer properly. So what this command is netsh. It's doing advanced firewall. Firewall, it's adding a rule named allow all traffic from Linux. So direction equals inaction, allows protocol any remote IP equals 192.168.1.210. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab that whole thing because I just don't like typing, and I'm gonna go and fix it in Notepad++. On top of that, so straight up that would have messed up. Go like that. Make sure the spaces are where they need to be. Space there. Delete that. Space there. Go to the beginning. I'm going to hold Shift, End. It's going to go to the end of it, and I'm going to hit Control C. So this way I don't have it trying to go to a line 2 that shouldn't be there. Now I'm going to go over back into our machine here. And I'm just going to clear screen it. CLS is clear screen. And I want to put that command in here, and hopefully there was no errors in what he had. netsh advanced firewall, firewall add rule name equals allow all traffic from Linux. So we're going to hit enter. And that's it. Just says okay. Like, okay. Whatever's clever. Going back, going back. That all worked. So now we're just gonna hit exit and get out of there. Bye-bye. Let's see, what's next? So we're still logged in to our 2012 R2, our -1, our number 1 machine. We're going to type DNS in the start menu, and then we're going to use the DNS tools, which is the same ones we've been using before. So let's go in here. He just has us going over here, and he just wants to type DNS to find everything. So there's 2 that say it, but it's this one. So our goal is we're going to create a fake zone. So we're going to expand the name, click forward, look up zones, and choose new zone. In the welcome to the new zone wizard, we're going to accept defaults of the primary zone, and then we're going to click next for the zone name, and we're going to type fakezone.com. Okay. So we're going to go in here. We're going to drop this, and also let's see if it does it. So see, now it's doing it. Right click and it's gray, right? Drop the arrow, right click, and it's not gray anymore. So we're going to go new zone. We're going to go next. Let me make sure because my mind just went blank. So we're doing a forward lookup zone, so I went to the wrong spot. So let me just close that. Forward lookup zone, right click, new zone. Now we're good. We're going to accept the default of primary zone. Click next, and then for the zone name, we're going to name it. So default is primary zone. Hit next. Zone name, going to be a fake name right there, fakezone.com. We're going to hit next. Go back over here, then click next, accept the defaults for the rest of the wizard. So pretty much he says next your way through. Now have a fake zone set up. Expand the forward lookup zone and click fakezone.com. On the right, notice the default SOA and NS records. So I'm just going to highlight this stuff really quick right here. We'll click on our fake zone. So these are the two records it was talking about. Certificate of authority and name server. The reverse lookup zone should be created for the subnet. On the left, click reverse lookup zone and then choose new zone next. Continue through the wizard, create a primary zone IPv4 reserve lookup zone for the network ID type 192.168.1. Accept the defaults for the rest of the wizard and click finish. So we're going to create a primary reverse lookup zone. Reverse, right click, new zone. Next, primary. IPv4 reverse lookup zone. Double check, it said 168.1. Hold it. I think I'm missing something here. For network ID type, yep. Alright. Oh, number lock got me. There we go. It's auto gonna fill that in down there. So let's see if I'm missing anything. Accept everything else and hit finish. All right, got it. Next, 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 finish. All right. Scrolling down, scrolling down. The new host winner window. Oh, hold it. I'm skipping something here. So this is why I need to highlight stuff. This is where we just left off. So right click fake zone and choose new host A or quad A record. In the new host window, specify www for the name and for the IP, enter 192.168.1.200. All right. So new host record on fake zone. New host A, quad A, right there. Specify www. All right. Going back. For the IP, enter that IP address right there. 92.168.1200 or our IP address. And it looks like we click through, add host, and then click OK. If the new host window pops up, close it. Add host. OK. See, the window still stayed open. We'll just close it. Now we have a www record. What does that sound? Pink. That one. You guys doing okay? Select fake zone on the left and notice the new A record with www.fakezone.com. We're gonna NS lookup fakezone.com. It's right there. So I'm just going to go this way. That should point us if I spelled everything right. Localhost, then www.fakezone.com is 192.168.1.200. So if you type that on our network, it would send you to this computer. Let me go all the way up to here. Not sure why my computer's making noises right now. All right, now it says type set type equals PTR, and press enter after each typed command. Watch for the case and spacing. It's very unforgiving. All right. It wants us to set type PTR. Make sure I remember that right. Probably don't. I'm dyslexic. Hey, sir type. And I forgot any. This is why I prefer to cut and paste. Alright, coming back to here. Something tells me that didn't work though. Ah, okay. Come on, keyboard. There we go. Let's see. Freaking phone. Boy. It's about time to wrap it up at 18 here. Oh, all right. So I was reading this wrong, okay? So what this is saying to do, I'm tired, I'm sorry guys, is to do this without typing the stuff after it. So you type the NS lookup, now it's gonna start asking you to enter stuff. So now if I did www.fakezone.com, it's going to kick it back. But now I can type set type equals PTR. Okay, and now there's another command I don't remember. Now I think it's just, oh yeah, the 192.168.1, right? 200. We're gonna go 192.168. Now when I hit enter, it's actually gonna do something. Hopefully. I typed something wrong, didn't I? I don't think I did. Okay, so it does like it the other way. Oh no. Yeah, tight. It doesn't want space there. Okay, so why is it? Too tired, guys. I'm too tired. Well, it should 192.168.1.200, unless I did something wrong. Interesting. Let's double check that. Something's acting goofy. I don't know what. It's in there correctly. So we'll just pretend and say it worked, okay? Sound fair, guys? So we can wrap this part up. Should have said this. So reverse lookup puts things in reverse. So it should say 192.168.1 backwards. So it says 1.168.1.92 because it's looking at it backwards. So we're just going to type Git DNS server. Oh, now I'm supposed to do exit, right? There we go. That worked. And then we'll just leave it right here at 18. We'll pick up at 3-4 tomorrow.